do sex.
Who no fit for no fit do sex.
The Child Rights Act. They are cheating children in Nigeria. And also use the gravity of the sentences. Delta State, thank you for domesticating. Please review the sentences.
So I'm going to read out the names of women and girls who have been abused from January 1st. Right? I'm going to read out some names. We're going to read out their ages. We're also going to read out the crime. Starting from January 3rd, a 16-year-old was raped. On January the 7th, through the 16th, a 16-year-old was raped. On January the 22nd, a 17-year-old was raped. On January the same 22nd, a 4-year-old was raped. On January the 27th, the 30th, a 6-year-old was raped. January the 30th. On January the 31st, a 70-year-old woman was raped. A 70-year-old woman was raped. On February the 2nd, a 2-year-old was raped. On February the 5th, a 13-year-old was raped in this country. On February the 5th, a 59-year-old woman was raped. 59-year-old woman was raped. On February the 10th, a 14-year-old was kidnapped and raped.
Oh no!
On February the 10th, a 16-year-old was kidnapped and raped. On February the 11th, a 14-year-old was raped. On February the 17th, a 16-year-old was raped. On February the 17th, a 3-year-old, same 17th, a 3-year-old was raped. On February the 26th, there are 2 cases of rape. On February the 27th, there are 2 cases of violent assault. On February the 28th, an attempted rape case was reported. On February the 28th, on March 1st, the beginning of the new month, a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old were raped one day. 10-year-old, 12-year-old were raped on the 1st of March. On the 4th of March, a 7-year-old was raped. On the 4th of March, a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old were raped. March 5th, a 32-year-old suffered domestic violence. On March 5th, a 17-year-old was raped. March 8th, attempted rape of a 16-year-old. March 8th, a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old were raped. On March 9th, there was a case of self-defense and attempted rape. On the 12th of March, a 13-year-old was raped. On the 13th of March, a 14-year-old was raped. On the 17th of March, a 10-year-old was raped. And on the 19th of March, a 12-year-old was raped. We're still in March. We're still in March. On the 20th of March, there are 5 minors, age disclosed, raped by one person. 5 minors, so 5 human beings, 5 children were raped by one person in one day. On the 3rd of April, a 23-year-old was raped. On the 4th of April, a 68-year-old woman was raped. On the 4th of April, there were rape threats to a woman. On April 8th, a 34-year-old suffered domestic violence. On the 12th of April, an 8-year-old was raped. On the 13th of April, an 8-year-old was raped. On the 13th of April, a 30-year-old suffered domestic violence.
Based violence is killing a lot of us. A lot of women are dying from domestic violence. A lot of people are beginning to take laws into their hands. I don't think we should hesitate. This is important. This is important. People are moving here. People are what they are doing there.
This is a nice background. We'll do for her too. This is the message we are getting. Yeah, maybe looking at all the cameras at the same time.
On the 11th of May, an 18-year-old was raped. On the 11th of May,
I'm not going. Violence is killing many. Children are dying. Women are dying. Hospital bills we cannot afford. There are no provisions to transport victims to hospital. No provision to pay for hospital bills. Sexual and gender-based violence is an emergency, and so we are calling for a state of emergency to be declared as a matter of urgency before the end of next week. by the government of Federal Republic of Nigeria. As a matter of urgency, the government should declare a state of emergency so that we give timelines on sexual and gender-based violence, so that we can give timelines and ensure every state is doing the right thing. Thank you. Please, let's focus on this.
Madam.
Children are dying, women are dying. Enough is enough. We are tired. As a matter of urgency, we want the Nigerian politicians, those in elected office, those in appointed office, those that are not yet in any elected or appointed office but identify as politicians, to know that we are watching every step of everything they do and say on sexual and gender-based violence. We have made a firm declaration that anybody that does not endorse the Child Rights Act and Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act has no place in government, and from 2023 we are beginning to galvanize towards that because we are tired. We need to see budgetary allocations for real-time interventions in sexual and gender-based violence. We need to see a deliberate increase in ensuring independence of the police in investigations. We need to ensure that police doesn't need to collect money from survivors because many of them are children, many of us are indigent, and we cannot afford these things. And you can hear, enough is enough. That's a firm commitment. So we're requesting, before the end of next week, we want to have in very clear terms a state of emergency declared against sexual and gender-based violence in Nigeria, so that we can have timelines and monitor. Those that haven't implemented the Child Rights Act and Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, when are they going to do so? We need firm commitments. We are tired of the stories. We are tired of the photo ops. We are tired of being used. We are tired of parading us to use the stories of how we were raped and violated, to make people cry, and that is where it ends. No, we want to see real-time things. If it happens to you yourself today, anyway, the people I'm talking, the people in office, they have the money. We don't have the money. We can barely feed. During the COVID-19 period, women, sexual and gender-based violence spiked up because women's realities were not taken into cognizance. When palliatives were being put together, people did not put sanitary pads because women still menstruate. When palliatives were being put together, contraceptives were not being taken into cognizance. And so people have been raping women. Many women refused to have sex because it was not protected sex. And because it wasn't protected sex, they've ended up with pregnancies. Hospitals were turning back women who got pregnant because they're not registering antenatals. So to be a woman is simply becoming an extreme sport in Nigeria, and we're tired of it. So we want a state of emergency declared so that we can come to a round table with stakeholders and give clear ultimatum. We will know that by October this year, we should be able to tell timelines. By October this year, all states should have domesticated certain things. By October this year, all states, we should know where the budget is coming from to handle different things. When a woman has domestic violence issues and she's sent out of her house, or she leaves the house for her safety, where does she go to? Many women are being financially abused by the men in their lives. Where do they get money to, get accommodation for themselves and their children? These are pertinent things that need to be discussed. Synchrony between civil society, who is trusted, and government needs to be built. So the time to discuss it is now. Is anything good happening? No. The sex offenders register, names will not find themselves there if we don't improve the system. So we are strengthening the system by this. Enough is enough because we don't know who is going to happen to next. Not here today with my brothers when we picking them. We don't line up here to say that everything that they do or take of say we be woman for Nigeria or they want us as woman for Nigeria. Say no. So we just want the government do one thing for us. Make government help us to declare whether they want state of emergency on top sexual and gender-based violence for we Nigeria. So if they not do it, picking them go see they go see the thing that when you want something give picking, nobody go, they don't go to get justice. We want situation where we ensure say picking them for Nigeria, women there for Nigeria, people with disability there for Nigeria, they will get opportunities, then they get justice for Nigeria. Because they know they get justice, then they make people when not to their exposed begin to do something so they take law into their hands. We don't want those kind of things. So we want the government, they on top of this matter, declare state of emergency, sharp. The person will not fit vote, not fit do sex. The person will not fit vote, not fit do sex. So what did do where Child Rights Act go the justice for all the states for Nigeria now? What did do where make say they never give all the states for Nigeria money when they sabi say, oh, this money now so they take the implement Child Rights Act. We don't know. So now we say no to sexual and gender-based violence. Don't carry we march on police. Inside this thing, you don't get justice without police. So we say, make we can tell the Baba police for Nigeria, so say, look, make it touch light eye inside this thing. This war against sexual and gender-based violence, so we dey declare. Now from here we will start. We go still go Ministry of Justice. We go different other places there, and we not go stop. If they no give us what we want, 2023, we don't look at now we don't count election something.
Abubakar Jamu, welcome you all to the principal of the concept here in Abuja. We understand the emotions that are driving this protest. We understand the rationale behind this protest. We understand the pains and the frustrations that are driving this protest. First of all, I need you all to understand that before the Inspector General of Police became a police officer, he was once the child of a woman. Before any police officer became a police officer, he was once a member of the society. Put in another words, or put differently, it means that every police officer you see in Nigeria today is either a father, a mother, a daughter, a son, a grandfather, a grandmother, someone's brother, someone's sister, someone's auntie, someone's uncle. The implication is simple, that every one of us have got a sister. We've got a woman in our life. We've got a daughter and we've got a mother. And we will not want any of them to be sexually abused, to be sexually molested, or to be raped. Therefore, we are together with you in the quest for a rape-free Nigeria. We are together with you in your desire to enthrone a society that will have a zero tolerance for all forms of sexual abuses on our women. And we will work with you if you are ready to work with us in pushing this advocacy even to further extent. There are fundamental issues that we must understand. We must end the conspiracy of silence. That's one of the ways we can actually fight against rape, sexual molestation, and other kinds of sexual assault against our women. The conspiration of silence is driven largely by the fact that majority of rape incidents in our homes, in our churches, in our offices, within the political circle, in our schools are never reported. We have, as police officers, seen mothers who have compounded cases of incest committed against their children by their husbands. We've seen mothers who have compounded cases of incest committed against their children by their sons. Therefore, we must work together to build and embolden a generation of women who will be bold enough to report cases when they happen. It might look like there is a triggering in the numbers or the staggering of the numbers, but it doesn't matter. The first, the starting point towards dealing with rape is ending the conspiracy of silence. The second thing is, we must work together to educate our people. As police officers, one of the most frustrating things we've noticed in the past is the fact that a lot of crime scenes involving rape are malhandled. I don't know any of you who have watched a video online of somebody going to the church where Uwa was raped and then pretending to be reporting the case and touching virtually everything in that crime scene. That is not the way to go. We must maintain every crime scene in its purest, uncontaminated and pristine form. That will help the police to be able to do their investigation and ensure successful prosecution of perverts and of suspects involved in the sexual abuse of our daughters, our sisters, and our mothers. And thirdly, we must end the connivance of relatives to shut down police investigation and to shut down prosecutions. We have seen so many cases where we have tidied up investigations involving rapes, only for the victim's family to turn around, reconcile and strike a deal with the suspect, and then they come back to the police to say they are no longer interested in the prosecution. And even when we insist on prosecuting, whether they support us or not, they get to the court and they turn around to become hostile witnesses. On our part as law enforcement agents, we must continue to build capacity of our policemen. We must continue to build a generation of police officers who can empathize with our women, who can show tact, who can show understanding, and who can work with victims, victims' family, activists, and other positive-minded citizens to combat rape. I want to reassure you that under the leadership of the current Inspector General of Police, we will work with the country, we will work with the citizens, we will work with the lawmakers, we will work with activists like you, we work with the other components of the criminal justice system to fight rape and fight it to stand still. I'm ready to take your questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Ariel Dari Atuyi. I'm a right activist and I support the current course, which is not just current, which has been ongoing, by a community of activists who believe that we should fight and combat the incident of rape, which has become a national calamity, a national pandemic, a national epidemic. And therefore, if we do not fight it, our mothers, our wives, our daughters, our family members are going to be a victim of it. As it is today, it appears that rapists are on the prowl. It appears that rapists are on the loose, seeking for women, girls to divorce. Therefore, it is our responsibility as men to support our crying women, to support our crying ladies, to support our affected girls, to fight this scourge. It is a scourge in the sense that it is demeaning us. It has undermined our humanity. It has indeed defeated the humanity in us, simply because, rape is something that undermines the world of a woman or the victim. Therefore, we believe that it is not just by us gathering here. My demand will be very simple, that we must have a protocol. We must have a national protocol now to secure our women and girls from rape. The federal government, the state government, the National Assembly members, CSOs, the media, and every concerned Nigerian, we must all sit down to put in place a national protocol, a community protocol on how to secure our girls and our women. Therefore, we believe that it is a collective responsibility for us to fight the incident of rape. And let me say this for the last time. Any man who cannot hold himself, cut it off. I'm a Christian. The Bible says, if any part of your body will make you to commit sin, you can sever it. If, as a man, your manhood will not stop you from raping children, if you are a man, if your manhood will not, if you can't restrain your manhood from committing rape, I think you can cut it off. It is a right, and it is not a sin to sever your manhood. It is as serious as that because we have to protect our girls, we have to protect our women, we also have to protect ourselves and the society. Thank you very much.
May the souls of all the human beings that we have lost homosexual and gender-based violence rest in peace. Nobody deserves to die because of the carelessness of any government. Nobody deserves.
Who is this guy?
Come back here. People die hopelessly.
Who is this now?
Because of the lives of women. And people with disabilities are not taken into consideration as human life. May their souls rest in peace. May all their blood fill.
Amen.
And cleanse this land. Help.
Amen.
With every rapist.
Amen.
May it not be well with everybody and system and every rapist.
Amen.
May it not be well with rap apologies.
Amen.
May it not be well with those that keep on making excuses for this horrible.
Amen.
We are tired.
We are tired.
We are tired.
We are
tired.
We are
tired. This land of emergency.
Well, as you can see, what we call your call do now for we call protest, a peaceful protest for girl child violence against women and police brutality. You know, we come here because not be today this thing starts. Not be today violence against women starts, and the country unfortunately not get laws implemented. We go guide girl child. You go see they go rape woman, nothing they go do. If they pay 3,000 for police station, they don't come out. They go beat woman for us, they go report to police. Police go to say, now family matter, go back to your husband. So there are really no laws guiding the girl child and women in Nigeria, and it's very unfortunate, and we are tired, and we are saying enough is enough. Let the government, let the police do something. When it's rape, let them change the penalty, let them change the punishment for rapists in the country. It's really not fair. They are supposed to like domesticate girl child law in the country, and I heard it's only 12 states who has implemented that, including Lagos. 11 states and all the states in the north. They don't want shook and put for the matter, and it's so sad. Now make us come outside for our house, say more shook for this matter with the worry mind. If there's anything that can be done, let it be done ASAP, because it's becoming very alarming. We be like disposing.